Okay. Raise your hand if you remember Mrs. Rita Friedman. She was going to the high school. She went to the high school after teaching for a while in Ocean Township School, Dow Avenue. How she got there, and this will lead into Veterans Day, how she got there was on the 13th of June in the year 1956. The first-year teacher by the name of Vineburg left to protect his country. I was drafted into the Army. I loved teaching. I loved Wanamassa. I liked everything about it, even that I had 36 in a class. I was drafted. Not happy. And Mrs. Friedman came in to finish the year because I went in the 14th Flag Day. I went in to the Army on Flag Day at Fort Dix, and we had to swear oath allegiance to the United States. I tried to explain I did that every day with the allegiance to the flag, but it was a different kind, and then we stepped forward, and when we stepped forward, we meant we were going from civilian life to Army life. After a while, they were sorry they drafted me. Now, it's Veterans Day, and I want to wish everyone a very happy Veterans Day. When I retired, I had forgotten that I was in the Army, and the poor man who did all the figuring out on the money, for retirement, had to do it all over again, because he forgot to ask me, and I forgot that I got extra whatever for being a veteran. So I went to Fort Dix. It was in June, and the first thing I remember after the physical, which was interesting, and being outfitted, with fatigues and so forth, the next thing I knew, I was sitting on the ground at the golf course. It must have been for officers, I don't know, and we were planting grass, and I thought, sure, this is what I'm doing instead of teaching the students at Ocean Township School. Well, that didn't last long, and I will tell you maybe 3 incidents of my Army career. The first is I had to learn to shoot an M1. I've never shot a gun or a rifle in my life. Jewish boys don't fire rifles, I thought. So we learned all about it, but nobody warned me that I might dislocate my shoulder when the damn thing crashed into my shoulder. So I didn't like that at all. But I became quite proficient during the day. I even had a medal that said I was a marksman with a couple of things on it, see? Well, one night we were woken up, get your M1s, which we were constantly cleaning. Now, I am not a good mechanic, so when everybody else was finished, I was still looking at things, So we had to go out at night. It was a black night. There was no moon, no stars. Pitch black in the pine barrens of New Jersey. And we get to this place, and they said, okay, now out in front of you there are targets. Do you see them? How the hell could we see them? It was pitch black. If you don't see them, then scan your eyes this way, and you'll see them. Well, I did. I still didn't see them. Okay, pick up your rifles and shoot at the target. Okay, I shot. I aimed it in the direction they wanted me to aim it, and I shot I don't know how many shots. And then the next thing they said was, Now go out and find your target and put up the new one and bring that one back to be graded. Oh, I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? I don't even know what I was aiming at. I didn't see anything out there. So I went, and I'm looking, and I can't find anything. And I guess I took too long, because the next thing I heard was, all right, troops on the line, get ready to fire. I'm yelling, ah! I'm still out looking for the thing. They say never to volunteer. Well, you should never tell them that you can't find the target, because they stopped everything. My troop mates were hysterical. They thought it was the funniest thing that ever happened. And that was the first real big failure in the Army. The second came very close to the first. They took us out to a place to throw hand grenades. Now, there was a big cement wall, and we were told, we didn't pull the pins out with our teeth, but with the other hand, and then you keep your hand down so that the thing doesn't, there's a lever that doesn't come up, and then you throw it. Well, I never threw anything. I wasn't a baseball player. I don't know what they're doing. So, okay, hand grenades, throw. And all of a sudden, I threw it. But the man in charge said, everybody get down behind the wall. The wall. It didn't go far enough, and we had a big explosion near the wall. After that, they decided I was going to be a clerk. I wasn't going to fight. And the country is better off for it.
They put you in the kitchen.
Oh, well, that was another time. Yes, we had... Do we still have time? We had
2.5 minutes.
Okay. We had scheduled a gas drill. They had a house, building, and you went into it, and you had your gas mask, which I never knew quite how to put on, and you stood there, and they would let the gas go, some kind of gas. It was terrible, and you had to unpack your thing, like you were surprised, put it on your face, do so, and then you were safe. Well, they decided that day that Vineburg should really do KP duty in the kitchen, for which I was very grateful, very thoughtful. So, because we had practiced before, and they saw that I hadn't gotten the message. So I did that, and I was KP. And do you know how they peel the potatoes? We don't have to peel them. They put them in a big tank that circulates around, and inside is sandpaper, and it rubs the peel off the potatoes. So I was feeding them. That I could do. I was feeding the thing. Well, anyhow, I was so lucky, except that when the company came back to the mess hall, they all had the gasoline, the poisonous gas, like embedded in their clothes. They were used to it by now. My eyes were tearing. It was worse, I think, than going into the building. Well, one more thing I have to tell you. Before I could get out of basic training, I too had to go into the gas chamber. I survived, as you could see. None the worse for wear. Oh, I have so many other stories about the Army, but we'll go back to school next time.
All right, say goodbye.
Bye.